there's a few things that come into play. It's I'll leave. I didn't need to touch the gen. Oh, I could. It's really based on distance is another important. The distance you have on the killer is important. Like, obviously not all 360s are successful and guaranteed, right? And this is for keyboard and mouse, not controllers. Don't even ask me about control. I got no fucking idea. Right? So if I'm running away from a killer, I'll always 360 if I'm injured, if I'm fully healed, whatever it is, because why not? The killer's going to hit you anyway. You might as well try and spin them, right? And the thing is, if a killer is behind me with their red stain, I'm looking behind, right? And I've got like 2 or 3 variations of 360s, really. And it just depends on what situation I'm in, will depend on where I do them. Yeah, many frames, right? Well, hope so. It really also depends on what's around me. So if I've got a killer coming in close, right, and I'm about to run, let's pretend that this is a corner, like a wall. If I had a killer behind me, I'll run past it, and as soon as I run past it, I'll flick out to the left, right? And by the time that I come in, I flick out to the left, the killer has come around and seen me, and then they'll lunge, hopefully, and then I'll backspin the other direction. So that way, when the killer comes around the corner, I flick out right. They see me here. I mean, I don't flick out this hard, but I flick out like, you know, right. And then they lunge. And as they lunge, I then backspin around them. And they will spin around trying to follow me. And then hopefully hit the wall or hit the tree or just miss. And then I'll keep sprinting on, if that makes sense. So we'll come across. The killer is chasing me. I'll flick out, flick around. And then hopefully they'll spin right around. And also, movement is quite key. A good thing to practice is practicing spinning in a circle like this, because that's really important, because you're relying on the backspin, and by the backspin I mean holding down S. If you pay attention when I pull down S, there's almost like this moment where I'm slow and then rapidly speed up, which is usually slow around the front, and then when I pull back down on S, I then pull myself back around quite quickly. It's like a testing area. This is the tutorial. This is the tutorial. So it's based on how much distance the killer has on you, how close they are. Run around. I flick out to the left. I'll always flick out to the left because I find it much more comfortable. If I try to do it the opposite way, I can still do it. It's just a little bit harder. You can practice both ways if you want. It doesn't really matter. I'll come through, flick out to the left, and then hold the back key and then flick right back around. That's one of 3 types I'll do, and that's only because of this situation. Now, if I'm in the open against a killer, let's say I'm in the open, you know, the killer can see me. I've got no way to really like hide. That's when I'll change it up and I'll run out. I'll wait till the killer gets close. This time I'll do a similar sort of thing to the first one. I'll flick out to the left and then try and backspin right, because it's just the bait. You need the bait, which would be the flick, to get the killer to lunge. And if they're close enough for when they lunge, that's when you then kick into the backspin around. And so the killer will lunge and then try and turn and follow you. And if they don't turn hard enough, they'll fall short, which is then you're right behind them. Then you continue to sprint away and gain more distance, maybe even make a pallet. Or you're injured and, you know, dead hard somewhere. Right? And the last one would be if I'm in a tight spot. If I'm in a really tight spot, there's a lot of stuff around me, I don't have the space to flick, because I could flick and get stuck on something. Then I'll wait till the killer gets close and then just spin around. So I'll wait till they get really, really close to the point where I know they're gonna lunge, and then I'll just backspin around. In fact, actually, let me find this for you. A good example of this would be on one of my videos I actually uploaded, I think yesterday. No, 3 days ago. Okay, chat, pay attention to this. Pay attention to this, right? Let's skip. Let's skip around about. Let's skip here, right? I want you to pay attention to how I spin her. Now, keeping in mind, I had a choice. I had a choice when it came to how I spun her. Ah, for fuck's sake. But just pay attention. Pay attention. And they've all left. Bruh. What you leaving me for, guys? I kind of need your help. I guess this is a Ditch Uncharted day. That's one. That was just the spin. That was option 3. Now, based on the fact that option 3 worked again, and how she gets really close for the lunge, I did it again. Just a simple spin. Jesus, dude. I can only do so much by myself, man. You guys... Right. Fuck, dude. You can't leave me with everything. Right. So, straight up, I think it was about here. And they've all left. Bruh. What you leaving me for, guys? I kind of need your help. Right, so I've got a lot of space here, right? I have a lot of space. So I have the choice of doing as much as really as many plays as I want. But based on how close she is, so she can lunge here. She can actually lunge and hit me. But the reason why she's not lunging and hitting me is because she did it before and she actually lunged too early, which is the reason why I made it to the pallet. That's the reason why she actually isn't lunging now. So based on what she's showing me, I now know that she's going to get really close to try and get a guaranteed lunge, which means I'm not going to fake it, because if I try and fake it, she's going to pre-lunge and smack me, which is not what I want. If you're going to do the fake it, you need to fake it and then the killer lunges, and that's when you spin back around. Right? Because based on how close she is, that's why I just settled with the simple just spin play. You got spun? Great. You know? And because she's already done that, and then she shows me again, she's showing me again by how close she's getting. She could like, it's really hard to spin a killer that knows the distance of the lunge and then just lunges perfectly. You can't, it's really hard because they lunge just to the tip and then get you. It makes it really hard to spin. But based on her showing me that she's getting really close again, means I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't need to fake out and really, you know, make it like hard to do the 360. Just a simple spin, because it worked the first time, it's gonna work the second time. She gets close, spin. Like, Jesus, dude. I can only do so much by myself, man. There's also other things to keep in mind as well. Don't try to take it tight. I know it sounds obvious, but if you're I've had a lot of moments where I've spun someone right around, like all the way around. They've lunged, and because I didn't hug it tight enough, their weapon has come right around and just nicked me and then downed me. Have happened plenty of times. So if you've spun successfully around the killer, finish it off strong and hold it tight as you can, because they'll miss that way. Does that answer your question, Ferox? Does that help you in how to spin killers? It's like, it's luck and it's practice. Like, you might get a good killer with a spin, but it only happens when they're not paying attention. When they're just zoning out, they lunge, and then all of a sudden you spin them and like, oh fuck, all right, and then they switch on and then smack you. Just want to thank you guys for watching. You know, really appreciate that. Just to let you guys also know that I do stream every single day from 9 AM to 5 PM, and links will be down below in the description for the Twitch. We also have a Discord, as well as an Instagram and a Twitter if you want to go along and follow those. Keep up to date with the stream. Come around and hang out. I really appreciate that. Apart from that, I'll see you guys next time.